Newark airport when he had a loaded 38 caliber handgun, some unprescribed oxycodone pills, that he had on the carry-on bag, which he left his identification in. Now, when they found it, he ran, fled, had to turn himself in, and we were all kind of waiting. Stories came out he may face up to 15 years, in prison. Well, we now know that a plea deal was on the table for him to get either 27 to 37 months in prison, or if he fights the case, and loses, he can face 47 to 57 months, in prison. Now, Juelz Santana goes on to say the whole situation has been an overwhelming nightmare. He says, it's coming down to the wire, and I still don't know what decision I'm going to make. He goes on to say, then a day later, he says, so I decided to take the plea deal. I felt like it was the least selfish choice for my family. I still don't have no full closure because at the end of the day, I know the final decision is on the judge. He could give me more time than the time agreed on. Just when I felt like I was going to be getting some closure, the problems just begun. So we see that, he's going to take the plea deal. The judge could, elect to give him a little more time, or he could be facing anywhere from 2.5 to about 3 years, in prison. SamAnt, what are your thoughts on Juelz Santana deciding not to fight the case, but to just take the deal and get it over with for his fam?
We were wondering when this went down because it came in March, and this is when we started the podcast on the old set. I remember it, and we were just like, "Damn, Juelz, Newark, what are you doing? The gun, what is going on? Yeah. What was going through this man's head? Did somebody plant this on him? Was he on drugs? What happened?" And now the more that time went on, it's probably we can attribute it maybe to him may have been on something, may have been a little bit of a problem going on with Juelz. So when you think about the time, maybe he needs a little more help. Maybe he needs rehabilitation. We were talking about that with Ty Dolla $ign yesterday, that got caught with the situation down in Fulton County, Georgia, and he's looking to do 15. And I know you reported on the Hip Hop News Uncensored close to 30 years now. So that situation is looking real dire for him. And Juelz Santana was being hit with the feds, and it was looking at Fed time, and it was looking very serious to bring a gun. We weren't condoning that. That was real stupid. And we said that. Why do you have a gun in your bag and then you take off? You just look and scream guilt. Never really said why he had it. And I don't know if he's allowed to even talk about it, but I would love to know if he was just like, listen, man, I have a problem. I have an addiction. And if that was the case, would that even help him in this situation? Only, I mean, who knows? I
mean, I think it definitely would help him. He could probably get off, with saying that he needed it for protection. He's a rapper. Nobody got injured here. So, I mean, it's not really that. He's going to do time. Obviously, he's in Jersey at the airport. It's a public safety risk, and it's at an airport. And then you got the oxycodone pills. Then you couple that with his history, his police history and all that. They look at all that stuff when they're trying to come up with a sentence. So I think that they'll probably give him, the latter, the 2.5 to about 3 years. You have to sit and think about that. It sucks, but it was just a stupid decision. I know he's probably like, damn. There's a lot of dudes in jail like, man, I should have never did that, or I should have, did this or thought this way. But I just don't know. I mean, the pills is one thing, but how does the gun, like you get a gun to an airport, is super crazy. But at this point, it's like 2.5, 3 years, 5, 6.
How much of that does he realistically serve? Does he serve that full 2 to 3 years? Because we've seen people get 2 to 3 year sentences and then serve 5, 6, 8 months of that. So does he serve the full time even at 2 to 3?
Well, you can get paroled a lot of times with different things, so you probably won't have to do that full time, or the judge could say, look, you got to do this minimum before you can get out. So we have to wait till the actual sentence comes down, but there are cases where people you'll get sentenced to 3 years. You may do 12 months or less. You know what I mean? It just all depends. Getting off parole, you're still kind of halfway in, halfway out. You got to piss. You got to maintain a job. You got to do all this stuff. So if you violate, you end up back in there. So a lot of times people just say, I want to max out because I don't want to be on the papers when I come out. So, we'll definitely see how that goes.
Now, he talked about and alluded to the fact that he's worried that the judge could possibly give him more time, more extending it on even more than a plea. Even if he pleaded, they could throw more time on it. Do you see that happening in this situation?
I don't, but it could, because you got a guilty plea. Once you get the guilty plea, it says, okay, these are the guidelines where you can go from either here to here. You know what I mean? So you can either give them the lower or the higher. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I mean, it's not like a real no, it was like, again, it's not no bodily harm. Nobody was particularly injured like that. So I see him kind of getting off with the lower end here, maybe 2.5, 3 years, definitely. Maybe probably getting out a little sooner than that on a bracelet or something. We'll see what they negotiate.
I'm thinking of something sooner. I'm thinking that realistically, they'll probably get him on 2 to 3 years and he'll be out. I don't know if he'll do a year in jail. And that's just me personally, my gut feeling in this situation.
Right, no doubt.
Based off of good behavior, like you said, they'll put him on a bracelet, house arrest, things like that. I think he's making the right decision in a fucked up situation. Got to just know better in next time. Like Jersey in particular, you got the gun and things like that. Maybe you weren't right in your mind. Who knows? But he'll make it out of this.
Yeah, I think he did propose to Kimbella. You know what I mean? Did that in front of everybody. And I guess he's probably like, every man comes to that point where it's like, man, I've been there before. I'm like, I'm doing some nutty stuff out in the street. It's time to really buckle down and do the family thing. But maybe he's at that point at his life where it's like, man, I could really end up, throwing all this shit away. And me being away from my family is income loss. I don't care what Kimbella's doing. It's better with both of them there.
Yeah, fact.
You know what I mean? Him getting show money and all that. So it's going to be a little hit, but it's something that he can definitely learn from. That's what he probably thought. He's like, man, either 2, I probably come home sooner, or at least like 4 or 5. I can't be away from my family for that long. So I just take the deal and come back and get this bread.
And it's a shame and they throw these deals at them because they know they just want the time. They just want the damn time.
Yeah.
They'll throw football numbers at them initially and then just negotiate. It's like a damn car deal. It's ridiculous. Car deal and salesman with your life. Yeah, we see that going on with your man 6'9". Right now, that's what's probably going on. Feds are bargaining right now. They trying to sell that whip.
Right.
But yeah, in regards to Juelz, you be all right, man. We think this will be cool. Nobody's saying that sitting a day in jail and missing your family is anything cool, but we see you making it out of this situation, man.
I think that that they should lighten up, on the gun laws. And I could see if somebody's like a violent offender or something like that or something crazy, but like, a lot of different states are different, but we understand why a judge would have to sit here and be, understanding on why a rapper that's rappers getting killed every day, robbed, why a rapper would have a gun, you know what I mean? But Airport, that was stupid. He made a mistake.
All right. So with that being said, do you think that it killed him or hurt him by running? Because we've seen a similar situation going with T-Pain. I don't know if it was in Tennessee or Florida, somewhere down south where he got hit with a gun. It was a registered gun. It wasn't meant to be in his bag. He talked about it, got a little fine, dealt with the situation. Do you think a similar situation would have happened in Jersey, albeit the gun laws are very strict in Jersey? Do you think it would have been a lot easier on him if he would have just sat there and owned up to it and talked to the authorities and took care of that as opposed to taking the fuck off?
I mean, that's probably, I could say that. Right. And yeah, like Jersey. Logically, yeah, you'd be like, Jersey. Right. You'd be like, yeah, but of course he still got arrested and all that, but maybe the judge would have looked at it a little different, but he was always maintaining early on in this, that it wasn't his, somebody planted it on him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I guess, again, like you said, they give you those deals because they already know.
Right.
Like, all right, he's not trying to, be away from his family. We'll put this on the table. He'll take this. We'll get the conviction, get our little bonus and move on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, shout out to Juelz, Kimbella and his family over there, a real beautiful family. And it looked like he's about to do some real positive thing. But he got to go sit, for a little while in the Bing, and then learn from that. But they'll be fine, man. So that's the news right there on Juelz Santana and Uncensored Truth podcast. Let's get it, man.
Indeed.
Yes, sir. But you tuned into the Uncensored Truth podcast with your brother, Old God and SamAnt, going in today on this Tuesday afternoon. I want to play this clip, man, because there's been a lot of controversy, going on. I want to ask you too, SamAnt, after this clip is played, about the king of R&B.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We can go back.